3, 4. Hey, 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 and welcome back to the show. This is Enough Already, and I'm Jesse James, and you can call me Jesse. Boy, do I got a lot to talk to you about today. Now, in the last episode, we talked about my book, and we're going to get back to the book and the issues that you need to be aware of for long-term survival, regardless of the crisis. Everybody needs to be prepared. Prepared. Not, I'll get around to it. No, we're way past all that. We're so far past that, it's unbelievable. And it's not Trump's fault. I keep hearing a lot of news out there. Trump this, Trump that, Trump. All I can say is the radical left, communist Demorats are out of their cuckoo trees. They're crazy for Cocoa Puffs. Anyhow, we'll cover that later on too. So, all this gerrymandering and all this redistricting, and I'm sure you all have had it up to here with all of it. The the Democrats pull out the race card. It's so childish. It is so unbelievable. The crap that these people keep pulling, and the word salads that come out of their mouth. Have you ever seen that AI generated video where uh, the jets fly over and they're dropping poo on the people? That's what's coming out of their mouths. Exactly like that. It just drizzles everywhere. And the sad part about it is it's got to be cleaned up. And it's almost diarrhea. So it's really messy and it stinks really bad and it gets all over everything. But the Republicans, me included, I'm a diehard, red-blooded American Republican. And I support Trump and I support this country. And everything that we've been talking about for the last 10 years. The ludicrousy needs to end. But let's talk about some specific details. Let's talk about the Democrats, the left-wing Cocoa Puffs, and hidden groups that are actually working and paid by the Democrat Party have filed 800 lawsuits that I could find since Trump took office. 800 lawsuits. Think about that. I don't think Walmart gets that many, but I might be wrong. I know they get a lot, but for God's sakes, here's the part that no one is picking up. Who's paying for this? Ding, 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 ding. Give the man a prize. Give her a prize. Give them a pat on the back. They are a winner. We are. Now, we all run around talking about the taxpayers' money. The taxpayers' money. It's like some group. You are the taxpayer. You are. You don't freely give that money. They take it right out of your check. You don't get a say. Think about that. You don't get a say when it comes to collecting it. But you also don't get a say how it's spent. That's not how our forefathers set it up. You do have a right to know where your money's going, what it's being spent on. And they're not supposed to spend any unless it's been approved by we, the people. Don't believe me? Go check it out. This whole thing about separating God from government. It's not in the Constitution. It's not any document that has ever. There's no document that says this. There is a letter, okay, from what I would call a rhino by the name of Thomas Jefferson. A letter. It's just a letter. It was his opinion. Okay. It is not part of the founding documentation and the government that this country was founded on, and shed a lot of blood and lost a lot of lives setting up and defending. You really need to start thinking about this stuff, because in the end, if you don't, you're going to wish you had. But think about that. 800 lawsuits that I could find. And many other stations, even the fake news, has reported on many of those lawsuits, especially when they think they're going to win. They, come out with their chest all puffed and tooting their horns and all mighty and gonna kick somebody's butt, and then they lose, and then every time it's the race card. It's racist. No, it's not. There's nothing racist about it. In fact, I don't know of anything racist in the country. Nothing. If you're a hard worker, you have the education and you have the know-how, you can do anything you want to do. Okay. And believe it or not, if you go like this, put your hand out, you get money too. You don't have to do a damn thing. But you're cornering yourself. Okay. You'll never be successful. Okay. And you'll never have anything. And you'll never be anybody. And you'll be in torment when your hand's out. How about get your big fat ass up, go to frickin' work, pay your portion, do your part, be a patriot, assimilate to the American way. Don't bring your country here. Okay? We don't want it. This is our country. If your country is so great, take your ass back to it. It's already simulated. It's already set up. Don't bring that shit here. We don't want it. We don't want to hear about it. We don't want to speak it. We don't want to dance with you. We don't want to hear about it. And great. You want to do that at your house? That's fine. As long as you're a patriot to the country. Now, if you're a traitor to the country, you don't belong here. And that's that. So, 800 lawsuits. And then we have this huge fraud thing going on. So, we already know that we've paid millions, possibly billions in these lawsuits. And then you have, like, Virginia redrawing their map. It was already equal. Based on the population and the count. It was already fair. But no. They spent $80 million trying to remap the state, only giving the Republicans one seat, when it's almost a 50-50 split in the state. It's like 49-51. Okay? You can look it up yourself. There's nothing racist about it. The whole Tennessee thing. Oh, it's racist. And then you actually have people running around. Think about this. This is hilarious. It just makes me laugh, but it also makes me sad. And then I get really pissed off about it. You have people actually making the statement that the Republicans want the black people or the dark people to be cotton pickers. Cotton pickers. There hasn't been anybody pick cotton in this country. Oh my God, probably for 100+ years. Right? We have machines that do it, and we don't have that much cotton anymore. So it is just so ridiculous. But there goes that race card. Good Lord. Talk about trying to divide a country I mean, this is the same shit that Barack Hussein Obama and his boyfriend, Michelle, did for 8 years. And he's still out there trying to do it. Literally. Still out there pushing the same shit. They say if you hear something 3 or more times, the human mind starts to believe it. And this is what they're doing. It's called programming. They constantly say these things over and over and over and over and over and over and over, like a broken record, okay, or a tape on loop. It just keeps repeating the same thing over and over and over, hoping that eventually people just believe it. It's crazy. What they got to understand is the Republican Party, the right. Okay, if you ain't right, here's how I look at it. If you ain't right, you're wrong. Simple as that. If you're not right, you're on the wrong side. So anyhow, so we've covered that. Food for thought. Think about it. Then I took it upon myself to start trying to figure out how much each one of these states spent, and there's 10 of them. All right. Remapping, jerry rigging, and all these little games that they're playing. I did not make any phone calls. I didn't ask for records. I dug as deep as I could to kind of get a feel for the numbers. So these are not accurate numbers; they're rough numbers. They've almost spent $750 billion. Think about that. Almost $750 billion. That doesn't include the fraud that they've uncovered. It's mind-boggling. You hear a couple 100 million here and a couple billion over here and a couple 100 million over here and another billion over here and another 3 billion over here, and these are just very defined areas that they're looking. Home health care, okay, like Minnesota. How much money do you actually think Minnesota has stole, okay, taken from you and I, you and you and you and you and you? Just take a wild guess, because the numbers they're giving us are just an estimated amount, but that's just a small portion. Then you start adding the other health care, and we already know hospice. Oh my God, between California and Minnesota, the hospice. I've been in the wrong business all along. I should have been in the hospice business. I should have been in a home care hospice. Yeah. Just visit them once and charge the government $1 million for seeing them. I'm being hypothetical, but that's how crazy this is. In the end, we're probably never going to get to hear the real numbers because it should be embarrassing. It's embarrassing already, but we're probably talking about a couple $1 trillion. It's probably enough in the 10 states that they're investigating for fraud. As individuals get rich on the American tax dollars, your money, my money, your neighbor's money, your mommy and daddy's money, everybody's money. It's your money. Enough to balance the national budget and probably have a surplus to start paying down the deficit. And that's just a little. Now, expand your mind and think about all 50 states. Think about it. All 50 states. This is just 10. We wouldn't have to budget anything. We would have an enormous amount of money left over. They wouldn't have to ask us for more money. In fact, the 28 to 37% that they're kicking our asses with every year should drop down to 10%. Think about it. Enough already. Everybody needs to get their heads out of their kabuta and start using their brain. Something that Donald Trump is very clear about. Common sense. So, a little more food for thought. And then we all heard about, the left making up all the stories about the President of the United States trip to China. It's crazy that the drama that they dig up, hoping that somebody's listening, hoping that they're going to win. Okay, as they make up these lies, and don't think for 1 second that the fake media, okay, MS Now and MSNBC and CBS and ABC and Fox and CNN, and the list goes on. And the list goes on. Don't think for 1 minute that any of them, okay, are making any lies. Don't, God forbid that, a $1 billion Fortune 500 company doesn't report the truth to their audience. Who actually makes them who they are? It's unimaginable. Really, it truly is. It's mind-boggling when you think about it. How is it even possible? So, and then you got guys like me, Ben, Larry, Megan, Devian, George A. The list goes on. And we're all just trying to siphon through the BS and report to you the truth the best we can from our research. Okay. And the last thing you want to do is repeat something that some other station or person said without researching it, because then you're just passing on another lie or half truth. So a lot of work goes into this. People think, oh, these guys are just reporting the same stuff. No, this is a lot of work. I had no idea what I was getting into. But I'm getting better at it. Got some better lighting tonight, don't we? Hey, got the lighting better. It is, and I'm just being me. There's no show here. It's just me. And anybody that knows Jesse James knows that you're going to get it straight right off the hip as fast as I can pull it out and pull the trigger. Okay. If I'm wrong, I'll say, hey, I'm sorry, I was wrong. But that doesn't happen very often, let me tell you. Because I'm a back searcher. I will dig and dig and dig and dig and dig and dig and dig. Okay. And I won't say anything until I find out the facts. Or I miss it altogether, hoping that I was going to get it together, and then all of a sudden somebody else figured it out and reports on it, or talks about it. So hey, it's hit and miss. But when I pull the trigger, I'm on bullseye. So the more you get to know me, the more you'll understand my philosophy, my analogies, and maybe you'll laugh with me, and you'll tell a friend, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I need your help. I need more viewers. Entice me to make more videos. Encourage me. Everybody needs encouragement. My arm's not long enough to pat my own back. Besides that, both my shoulders hurt. And, I'm sitting here trying to do what everybody else is doing, got this little studio set up and got the mic, and I still don't know how to do the split screen or the screen on screen. I'm working on it. It's hard to learn all that and then keep up with what's going on in the world um, in the United States. And my focus is not really the world at all. My focus is the Americans, the Christians, the people that actually matter. You know, who comes to our aid? We're always giving the aid to somebody else. But who comes to our aid? Who's paying our deficit off right now? Who? Who, who says, hey, you know what? We're going to help the Americans out. We're going to help the United States out because they've been so friendly and helpful, and they've defended us in numerous wars, and they've kept us safe. And heck, we don't even have a military because we can depend on the United States military to keep us safe and know that when we go to bed at night, there's somebody watching over us. I don't see anybody say, hey, let's just pay their deficit off. Let's just bring them down to zero and let them get back to business. But that's what Trump's trying to do. He's trying to fix this problem. I think everybody is living in this la-la land thinking that, this is all just going to fix itself. It's not. It's not going to fix itself. The Lord, when you ask him for help, okay, and you do a sincere prayer, and he knows what's in your heart. When you ask him for help, it just doesn't magically happen. You have to do your part. You have to make an effort to help him help you. All right? And that's where we're at right now. All right. Donald Trump, our Christian government right now, asked us to rededicate the country to the Lord, and that took place. And I'm 100% positive by doing that, and the earnesty in the American Christians is going to turn things around, and that we have enough people. Hit my mic. We have enough people making an effort and coming forward and trying to do something to straighten out the problem. As long as we're all working towards the same goal, we're gonna knock this out. We're gonna fix it. Hey, and it's not gonna happen overnight. You got to think about this. This has been going on for 70 years. 70 years. That's 7 decades. That's three decades short of a century. Okay. That's crazy. And how did we, obviously we've been very fortunate, and we've had our ups and our downs. I mean, most people don't realize, we've been through numerous recessions, Great Depressions, or depressions, not Great Depressions, but depressions. We had the Cold War, we had the fuel crisis, the OPEC deal back in the 70s, which goes back to Iran and Afghanistan. And you could actually drag the Arabians into that if you wanted to. But you have to study who was all involved in OPEC and what they do and what they don't. And then you'll understand a little better. You have to do your homework. Okay. And here's the funny part. We've talked about it before. Everybody's carrying these stupid cell phones around. They call them smartphones. No one's getting smarter with these stupid things in their face all day long. Everybody needs to put them down and read a book. Literally, a paperback or hard copy book. Libraries are full of them. Try it out. You might like it. All right. So back to some of the other issues going on that I wanted to bring your attention to before we get back to my book. So, Omar. Oh my goodness. Why isn't that woman in prison already? Why hasn't she been indicted, handcuffed, thrown in a cell, and not allowed to come out until her trial? They have proven that she's known all about this fraud. The woman was reported she was worth over $30 million. And then after all this fraud investigation, all of a sudden she's only worth $95,000 or $65,000 because I've heard different numbers. So let's just say she's worth 100,000. And then she says it was an accounting error. Accounting error. Didn't they take our current president of the United States to court and try and put him in prison for an accounting error? Yeah, I kind of remember that. Yeah. Didn't that happen in Georgia? I might be wrong, but hey, it happened somewhere. Could have been New York, but I'm pretty sure it was down in Georgia. Isn't that where they took the mugshot? Anyhow, so everybody needs to think about that, and you really need to hammer your congressmen and your senators. You need to blow those phones up. You need to blow those computers up with emails. They all have texting. Find their text number. Text that thing until it won't take any more text. Blow those phones up. Literally. We, the people, have the power. They work for us. We pay them with our money, and they were hired to represent us. You, and me. And they are to do what we want. For some reason, nobody's doing that. And it's not near as bad on the right side yet. But we have a bunch of rhinos in there. So these are actually Demorats, okay, who got elected by lying to the American people. I don't know about you, but I tend not to like liars. In fact, they piss me off. I actually want to give them a little pop in the nose. But that's just me. But I can be diplomatic about it. And I email and I text and I blow up the phones. Every chance I get, I do it. I could do it more, but I also have a feeling that there's not very many people doing it because they think for some reason someone else is going to fix the problem. In fact, I've actually heard people tell me, well, there's no reason for me to vote, including my own family members, no reason for me to vote because my vote don't mean anything. My vote don't count. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Every vote counts. Every word, voice counts. We all count. Right? So just a little food for thought. Yeah. So we talked about Omar. Then we've got AOC. Now AOC does not have a job. You all know that, right? She's out. She's gone. But yet she's still somehow getting on CNN, ABC, CBS, MSM, MS, whatever they call it, MS Now, talking like a 7-year-old. And it kind of reminds me of that. What was her name? The one that was running for president? Kamala Harris. The word salads, the ridiculousness, the hatred that comes out of that woman's mouth is beyond comprehension. She's done. Why do they keep letting her do whatever she does on national television? She doesn't have a job. She needs to go back to bartending or whatever it was she was doing. That's where she needs to be. I heard McDonald's is hiring. You know, her and Kamala, I'm sure could get their old jobs back. I'm being serious. I'm not being facetious. I'm serious. Those type of people shouldn't have gotten into politics. How in the world did they get voted in? And that is your fault. That's your fault. The American voter. That's your fault. It's absolutely nobody else's fault but yours. Stop listening. Okay? Start doing your own investigating. I've even heard people say, well, I vote for the lesser of the evils. If you didn't like anybody, then why did you vote to start with? Vote, put yourself on the ballot. It's insanity. The wheels on the bus go round and round, but it's stuck on ice. It's not moving. That's what's going on in your heads. It's unconceivable how the American people think anymore. If we don't watch out, we're going to be like Britain. All right. Next stage for Britain is to be like Iran. If that's what you want, you're headed there. And you're not going to like it when you get there. Okay? The grass is not always greener on the other side of the fence. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So, Tulsi Gilbert, the whole thing about the CIA raided the office and took all these files, and oh my God. They made news out of it for a couple days and then they moved on to something else. But they haven't reported about the plane crashes. They haven't reported about the U.S. Air Force plane that went down and the pilot parachuted out. He's fine. I think one news station, just a little blip. It was a blip. The shootings, the murders. It's like all of it's a secret all of a sudden. But yet they will completely run their mouths and try and convince everyone that we need to go from unrest in this country to an outright civil war. And that this rhetoric that they continue day in and day out every day and have been for 10 years, longer than that, go all the way back to Barack Obama in 2008. It's nonstop. Then Barack Obama made an announcement last week. I had an interview bragging about, he was able to deal with Iran without firing a missile. Yeah, he sure didn't. Instead, he just gave them everything. Plane loads of American cash. And we've only heard a glimpse of the amount. Okay. I seen a video. There were pallets wrapped in saran wrap. Okay, one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, getting loaded on our planes, being flown over and unloaded. That's not how you fix things. You don't buy your way out of it. Okay, you grow a set. Okay, and you go over there and you knock their nose off their face. Okay, because if you don't, they're going to continue to do the same thing. Because now they're holding you as hostage. Okay. So that wasn't enough money. Now we want more money. Oh, by the way, we want your freedom. We're playing with the devil here, guys. I'm warning you. We're playing with the devil. We're not playing with fire. Okay? It's no longer that type of fight. This is right out of the Bible, biblical. This is good versus evil. And we're right in the midst of it. I'm running out of time. So we didn't get to talk about my book. I apologize for that. But I gave you some food for thought. I spoke about actual factual things that have taken place. I didn't get too political about some of the other stupid things that have been talked about or said. But there's always the next show. So in the meantime, thank you for watching. Have a blessed afternoon. Until the next time, see you later.